everything's playing out in real time, Gypsy. I know it was rough. You're postpartum, you just had the baby, feelings were all over the place. Of course you were going to be upset about me and Ryan's at 2 a.m. We're not faulting you for that. You're allowed to have feelings. You're allowed to have all the feelings you want and need. We just want to see you live and thrive.
So, just when you thought Gypsy Rose and Ryan Anderson drama had finally died down, Amber J enters the chat with an apology video. But wait, this wasn't your usual teary-eyed, candlelight apology. Nope, this was shade, sarcasm, petty revenge dressed up as sincerity, and it was hilarious. But underneath the laughs, it exposed something deeper: jealousy, manipulation, and Gypsy's unraveling control over the narrative. This video isn't just a petty feud, it's a breakdown of who's really pulling the strings behind the scenes. And spoiler alert, it's not who you think. Let's unpack how Amber J's video sent Gypsy spiraling, how Ryan finally stood his ground, and why Ken, yes, Ken, is quietly sitting in the middle of all this mess, probably wondering what kind of novella he walked into. Amber J's video starts like deja vu. If you're not Gypsy, please scroll, she says with a smirk mirroring the exact words Gypsy used in her emotional, almost trembling video to Ryan.
This video's for Gypsy Rose Blanchard, so if you're not Gypsy Rose Blanchard, you can scroll on. But I know y'all are gonna watch and listen.
It was a subtle jab, but if you followed Gypsy long enough, you know right away this wasn't going to be a sweet, soft-spoken apology. This was a performance, and not the kind that begs for forgiveness, the kind that sends a message loud and clear. Amber J didn't come to make peace. She came to poke the bear. And she did it with lipstick on, smiling the entire time. She reveals that Gypsy blocked her over a year ago, casually throwing it in as if it were no big deal.
Gypsy, I know you're probably watching my content, but we haven't had actual contact in about, I think it's been almost a year since you blocked me. And that's okay, because I really only wish the best for you. I just want to apologize for the way I was acting, keeping you up at night. You know what I'm saying? I want to apologize for having you up at 2 a.m. because you thought I was dating your mans.
But let's be real, that block wasn't casual. It was calculated. You can practically feel the tension that's been simmering between them all this time. Amber pauses, smiles, and adds, "But I wish her well." It's the kind of passive-aggressive sweetness that only hits harder because it's so controlled. That, my friends, is shade with sprinkles dipped in sarcasm. The real tea. Gypsy's been intimidated by Amber for long before the whole drama with Ryan resurfaced. Even when Gypsy moved on with Ken and publicly distanced herself from Ryan, she couldn't keep Amber J off her radar. Blocking her wasn't some proactive move. It was a reaction, a defensive one, a response to someone she saw is a threat. Amber has something Gypsy hates: confidence without desperation. And now that Gypsy sees Amber stepping into the spotlight, speaking up and not backing down, she's unraveling. That jealousy, it's no longer subtle, it's loud, it's public, and it's giving "I am not over it" energy. Amber continues her apology by saying she's sorry for keeping Gypsy up at 2 a.m., directly referencing the exact moment Gypsy sent Ryan that now infamous late-night message. Are you with Amber J? The kind of message that just screams panic, insecurity, and a lack of closure.
I'm sorry I had to take your man. I know everything's playing out in real time, Gypsy. I know it was rough. You're postpartum, you just had the baby, feelings were all over the place. Of course you were going to be upset about me and Ryan's at 2 a.m. We're not faulting you for that. You're allowed to have feelings. You're allowed to have all the feelings you want and need. We just want to see you live and thrive.
Amber knew exactly what she was doing with that line. It wasn't just shade, it was a mirror held up for Gypsy to see her own meltdown. Then Amber goes in with the line, "Sorry for taking up your man," and it's delivered with such precision. It might as well be a headline. She knows Ryan isn't Gypsy's man anymore. Everyone knows, but that's the point. She says it knowing full well it will sting. That sarcasm served on a silver tray, cold, calculated, and low-key brilliant. And then came the kicker. Amber says she understands postpartum emotions, On the surface, it sounded sympathetic. If you've been following, you know that's the exact excuse Gypsy gave for her erratic and jealous behavior. Amber J is quoting her verbatim, and she does it with the same tone Gypsy used in her apology video.
No, Ryan's didn't want to take it to Taylor Swift and he would have taken me. I'm so sorry for that. Gypsy, I just want to say I'm sorry we threw your pillars out the window. And I brought them back in, okay? I took them back in because we're here for Gypsy, Team Gypsy in this house. I mean, I trusted you, Gypsy. I really did. I full on trusted you. And then you did something to the back. I think it's all gonna be fans. I'm sorry that you're the way you are. I didn't mean to get involved with the crazy lady. We really are all sorry that we ended up with a piece of shit.
It's not just a dig, it's a theoretical reenactment, the final blow. We just want to live and thrive, Amber says, before bursting into laughter mid-sentence. The pause, the timing, the smirk. It's the comedic timing of someone who's not just mocking, but completely dismantling Gypsy's narrative. Any hint of sincerity vanishes with that laugh. And honestly, it hit harder than any insult, because nothing cuts deeper than being mocked with your own words. Amber even brings up the infamous Taylor Swift concert. Yes, that one. The one Gypsy was so desperate to attend, she nearly risked her legal standing for it. Here's what went down. Ryan posted a poll on social media asking his followers whether he should take Amber to the concert or go to the game instead. It was highlighted, playful, even petty. But for Gypsy, it was a trigger. She didn't just fume in silence, no. She tried to withdraw $12,000 from their joint account to buy Taylor Swift tickets herself. Mind you, this wasn't just any bank withdrawal. Their finances were under court supervision due to the divorce proceedings. So yes, that move, not just dramatic, it was legally dangerous, petty, absolutely reckless, and even more so. It wasn't about the concert. It was about control, about showing she could still make ground gestures, still grab Ryan's attention, still matter, but instead of love, it screamed desperation. Then Amber drops another bomb. She threw Gypsy and Ryan's Marito pillows out the window. But don't worry, she says. She brought them back. It's such a small, ridiculous detail on the surface, but symbolically, it was a power move. The pillows weren't about comfort. They were about closeness, history, and a relationship Gypsy clearly hadn't emotionally realized. Amber tossing them was her way of saying, I'm here now. Sure, John, we all know the pillows were never the point. They were just the latest proof that Amber J's presence in Ryan's life is closer, physically and emotionally, than Gypsy ever wanted to believe. Amber mimics Gypsy again, saying she trusted her and got betrayed. It was a deliberate echo, word for word, tone for tone, of Gypsy's own theory breakdown. This isn't just a casual parody, it's calculated. Amber is throwing Gypsy's emotional manipulation right back in her face, exposing just how performative the original apology really was. And then she takes it a step further, mockingly calling herself a piece of shit. The very insult Gypsy hurled at her. Except this time, it's weaponized for comedy, and the punchline lands harder than anything Gypsy ever said. She ends the video with a smirk. I accept your apology, so you have to accept mine, before sillily adding that she wouldn't even be here without Gypsy.
We really are all sorry that we ended up with a piece of shit. Like you. I'm just kidding, Jib. We love you. It's fine. I accept the apology. You're gonna have to accept mine. The best you could do was the best I could do, so there was that. Gypsy, I wouldn't be here without you.
It's a double-edged dig. On one hand, it's an acknowledgement that Gypsy gave her a spotlight, but on the other, it's a brutal reminder that Gypsy's attempts to silence her only made her louder. That little line, it stung. You could practically hear Gypsy's eye twitching through the screen. And honestly, Amber's so-called apology was everything Gypsy wasn't. It was sharp, funny, emotional, detached, and completely self-aware. She didn't beg. She didn't cry. She didn't try to gaslight. She just smoked the mess, held up a mirror, and laughed. which ironically is probably what drives Gypsy the most insane. Seeing someone else take control of the narrative and not crumble under pressure, because that's the one thing Gypsy has never mastered: how to take an L with grace. Let's rewind to where this all exploded.
Well, that was crazy. Oh, this was messy. That was messy. Y'all gotta behave. Y'all can't be acting like that on the interwebs. It was a great weekend. That was fun. Shit's still blowing up. Everything's going great. Y'all really gotta start being nice to the Gypinator. Sometimes I'll be talking about her and it slips out and it's not that nice. And that's an accident. I like the Gypinator. You know what I'm saying? She's chill AF, showing the tit tiles at the strip club and everything. Gypsy's cool as hell showing the titties at the strip club. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of friends you want. They don't judge and they have a good time. Gypsy, I'm trying to get up in the friend group. You know what I'm saying? Because shit, I'm gonna wear a wig and show the titas. Were they throwing beads or anything? It don't matter. I'll do it for free. Was Roz there? Was Roz at strip club throwing doll hairs? You can't. I can't. Be nice to Gypsy, people. I'm just kidding. Everything I say, I'm really just kidding. I like her a lot. She got the balls. Gypsy, I like you. You got the kahunas. You know what I'm saying? You got the balls.
The 1:53 a.m. text, Gypsy messages Ryan, "Are you with Amber J?" He didn't reply. She doubles down at 9 a.m. saying she feels lost. Those texts still up. Gypsy didn't stop there. She crossed a serious line, exposing Ryan's private medical condition to the public, even naming the exact medication that causes him to sweat.
If you go look at Gypsy's TikTok story right now, she just apologized publicly to Ryan for revealing his medical info to the whole world. Now, the thing is, she has almost 10 million followers, so a lot of people now know something about Ryan that Ryan did not publicly want released. So she can apologize all she wants, but I don't think it changes anything. It really doesn't change anything. She still did what she did, and she was very wrong for that. That was just a whole new low for her. So sometimes apologies don't mean much. I don't know how I feel about this.
It wasn't just messy, it was a violation of privacy, and Ryan wasn't having it. In a rare move, he bypassed her entirety and went straight to Gypsy's father, threatening legal action unless the post was taken down immediately. But instead of retreating, Gypsy doubled down. What followed was a rage-filled video that can only be described as unhinged. She didn't just warn Ryan to stop talking about her, she issued threats, saying that if he didn't back off, she would start exposing more dirt about him.
Take my shit down, right? Okay, how about you quit talking about me? It's been 3 fucking months since I texted you. And you're spiraling out of control. So just remember, just as much dirt as you have on me, I have on you, honey. You punch at me, I punch back 10 times harder. Go see a therapist.
Her voice trembled, then switched tones, her accent morphed. Mid-sentence, one moment she sounded like Gypsy from a Lifetime movie, the next like someone entirely different. It wasn't just unsettling, it was eerie, like watching a smack slip off the real time. She declared that if someone punches her, she punches back 10 times harder, but this wasn't self-defense, it was retaliation, pure and simple. And with that, the curtain lifted. The performance cracked, and what we saw underneath was manipulation, aggression, and a desperate attempt to regain control, slipping right through her fingers. After public backlash, Gypsy deletes the rage video and returns with a fresh performance, her infamous apology. The tone is fragile, voice cracking, eyes narrowed just enough to sell the pain. She claims Ryan broke her trust, says she's not the man she married. It's drenched in victimhood, like she's rewriting the script mid-season. But here's the kicker. Wasn't she the one who cheated? Wasn't she the one who had a baby with another man while still legally married to Ryan? The hypocrisy is enough to make your head spin. She's sobbing over leaked text that made her look bad right after she publicly exposed Ryan's medical information for millions to see. It's selective outrage at its finest. This wasn't about heartbreak. It wasn't about betrayal. It was about something far more dangerous to Gypsy. Losing the narrative, losing control. She didn't cry because Ryan had her. She cried because the audience stopped clapping. After Gypsy's video, crickets from Ryan. Not a single word, no brutal, no emotional rant. He hasn't taken down the messages. He hasn't defended himself. He hasn't even acknowledged her publicly. And that silence, it's not weakness, it's power. Because this time, Ryan isn't playing her game. He's done being manipulated, dragged into online theatrics, or guilted into protecting her image. He knows what she's trying to do. Bait him into response so she can flip it, twist it, and turn herself back into the victim, and instead, he gives her nothing. If he still cared about Gypsy's feelings, if there was even a sliver of emotional attachment left, those texts would have been gone the second she cried. But they're still there, and that silence, this is a boundary. That's him saying, I am not doing this anymore. Finally, Ryan standing his ground, not just against Gypsy, but against the chaos she brings with her. Now, let's talk about Ken. While all this is happening, he's in the background, watching his girlfriend and baby mama spiraling over her ex. She's jealous of Amber. She's texting Ryan late at night. Where does this leave Ken? Sure, they post happy pics, but you can't tell me this hasn't shaken things up. Ken might be playing it cool, but behind the scenes, there's no way this doesn't leave a scar. So what do you think? Will Gypsy spiral again? Is Ken really okay with all this? Will Ryan ever respond, or is he finally free? Let's talk about it in the comments. Like and subscribe for the next breakdown. Trust me, this saga is far from over.